Hi everyone. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. So, I want to take you to behind the scenes of some of my creative experiments, the stuff that I've been up lately. And, we had a lot of guests from the creative industry, like designers, people from the agency, creative directors, marketing experts, and so on. A lot of creative minds in the podcast. So basically, we're trying to steer a little bit the direction of the podcast to explore AI in creative fields. But along the way, I've come from a creative background as well. Like I used to work for many years in advertising. So I was used to brainstorm and have different ideas. And very often I cannot stop my brain. So I write down my ideas. Sometimes there are insights, sometimes are too big to act on it. We would need a lot more people to actually execute. But I've been doing my own stuff, and some of them are, let's say, low-hanging fruits that I wanted to explore. And now with AI, that's my chance. That's what I thought, right? So I want to focus this episode into how I actually transformed this idea that I had into a story, like an audio novella, basically. Along the years, I had these side projects, right? A lot of insights, they were easy to write as a script for a film, let's say. I'm a film enthusiast, so for me, it's a medium that I love. And of course, I didn't know how to write a script, so I had to kind of learn that. But that's fine. It's just a way to format and how to tell a story in a visual way. So basically, describing things. So I wrote several of those. I think I might have 6 or 7 scripts that I wrote. But they have been sitting for years in a drawer, let's say, in a digital drawer. And I think this is a waste, because if it's not out there, it doesn't exist, right? It only exists in my mind or to people that I actually told the story. So I wanted to do something about that. And I think AI helped a lot. So I want to talk a little bit about the process. First, I just want to define what is a film script, a short film script, which was the story that I wrote. So it's usually 6 pages. It's mostly dialogues, and there's the descriptions of the scene that the director will take to brief somebody on how the scene should look in a video format, right? That doesn't work on an audio format, so I had to kind of adapt that. So what did I do then? So I had to kind of take all these descriptive sequences that describes the environment, and I transform that into a narrator style dialogue or a voiceover. In order to do that, I basically decided to start with ChatGPT. So I took the script that I had, put it on ChatGPT, and then asked it to help me take these descriptions and transform into some sort of narrative dialogue. And then, of course, I would adjust along the way. It needed to have a natural flow. But it was a lot of a back and forth process, polishing the dialogues as well, in order to be a bit more descriptive, because everything in audio needs to be whether described by a narrator or described somehow through the dialogue, or with sound effects, which I used a bit. I try to actually do that using AI, and it was a hit and miss, let's say. But let's go in steps. So I started with ChatGPT, polishing the dialogues, adjusting the story. And then, okay, now that I have the story ready to be narrated or to make it in an audio format, what other tool can I use to generate the voices, right? Let's say before AI or in a regular audio production, you would have voice actors that would just come and enact the story, right? But I wanted to, I don't want to resort to that. I wanted to do everything myself. So there's a Polish company, it's an European AI startup. They are a reference audio AI tool, and it's called 11 Labs. You've probably heard of them. They are, I think, in regards to voice audio, they are one of the top. So they can basically clone your voice or generate voices. They have a library of voices that were generated, sometimes cloned from other voice actors that allow them to use for a certain period of time their voices. So what I did, it was a combination of using them for the voices, and also I had to use a library of sounds. I used Envato Elements. I'm going to link it to the show notes to use the audio bits, basically the sound effects, because I tried to generate that with 11 Labs, which they, in theory, allow you to do, but the results were not good. So I decided to just go with the traditional image bank or stock library for the sound effects. But for the voices, it was only 11 Labs. So I picked a voice from a narrator, and of course there's 2 characters. And in their text-to-speech feature, they allow you to add emotions to the dialogue. I mean, everything is still in beta. I had a let's say hit and miss experience with this. Sometimes it was a bit too neutral, or sometimes they were a bit over exaggerated. So and you're gonna hear that because I love that, because this was my first experiment doing this. So I think we're getting close for this to be really, really useful and maybe replace a lot of the work, or at least allowing people that wants to put their stories out there to do it in a very low cost, let's say. I basically paid for a month to get 90,000 credits, and I used, let's say, almost all of it. I think around 70,000 credits. So, I mean, for a roughly 6-minute story, it was a lot of work. Several hours invested into this to kind of polish it and make it work. Ideally, they have a feature which is called Audiobook. So ideally, you should just send your script and you assign the voices to each beat, and then it would narrate that for you. But it doesn't have the emotional tweaking or the feature where you actually add the emotions. And for me, that was a big downside of using the audiobook feature. So if they implement that, then I think it's a different situation. I think the tool will go to another level, and then I could have used that. But I couldn't, so I was also limited. I think they only generate 2,000 characters or 3,000 characters at once, so I had to break the story in 3 times and do it very manually, a lot of the process. So I'm curious to see what do you think about it? So let's hear the result, and you let me know in the comments what you think. But it's the first time I'm actually getting one of these stories out. So this is the creative process behind it. Now let's see the results.
The city hums outside. The room is quiet. Sheets rustle, their sweaty breathing slowing. They roll onto their sides, pretending this is some sacred chamber.
God, it feels good. Finally, just us, no more secrets.
He speaks first, of course. She doesn't answer, only exhales, heavier, like each breath drags some unspoken weight with it.
I was just thinking, maybe it is too soon.
He snaps into place, posture rigid, as if sitting straight could stiffen his character.
What do you mean? For us?
For me. For this place, maybe. Lately, I've been feeling something. A presence. Like the air is heavier here.
Of course. He shakes his arms in disbelief and points to the window.
Honey, it's just us here. If the air is heavy, we should open the window. Do you want me to do that?
Her body caves in, eyes hardened on the wall, her quiet signal of unrest. He, as usual, misses it.
No, it's not now. It's been like that since...
Since he died?
Yes.
The silence thickens. The air is heavier between these two, packed with things left unsaid.
You never wanted to talk about it. I know he didn't go peacefully.
It doesn't seem like it was 3 months ago. In this apartment, by the door. He had a severe nut allergy, you know. Then he ordered some food, and by mistake there were traces of nuts in it. He choked to death by the door, unable to reach his keys.
A long pause. He takes a deep breath, as if the weight of her words has sucked the air from the room.
God, that must have been awful. Not being able to breathe.
Apparently, our front door neighbor heard some loud banging on our door. She called the cops, and that's when they broke in and found him, dead, next to the door. It happened when we were at the motel that weekend in Vermont, remember? That's why I had to leave quickly when they called.
His head bowed in fake remorse, pretending to feel ashamed.
Oh, I thought you were having second thoughts about us and all the secret meetings.
Her eyes spark with surprise, then settle, leaving only with resentment.
No, I didn't love him anymore. I haven't loved him for a long time, but I also didn't wish any harm.
Well, life took care of it. Now we are free to be together.
Hey, don't be mean. That's not the point. I know it's going to take some time to sell this place, especially in this neighborhood, but it's getting harder to stay here. This weird feeling that someone's watching.
He reacts abruptly, raising his voice a bit. Nerves bleed through every word, no matter how he tries to hide it.
Come on, I don't feel anything. There's nothing to worry. We're gonna sell this place and move to a new place soon, and things will be as they should be.
Her eyes dim, blurred by memory, perhaps torn between a smile long gone and a wound that never healed.
Are you listening to me?
I keep thinking about what my grandmother used to say.
Which one? The Asian one?
Damn, Charlie! Now listen, in her culture, tragic death is serious. She would tell us when someone dies in a violent way or in terrible pain, that's bad karma. Their soul doesn't move on. It lingers. Sometimes it gets trapped in other life forms, like animals.
He leans back, rolling his eyes with disbelief. His one true talent.
Christ. You don't actually believe that.
I never did, but lately I can almost hear her voice.
He turns to her suddenly.
Did he know about us?
I think he did. He questioned me a few days before about my constant work trips, but I dismissed him.
Her pain floods the room, and all he can offer is emptiness.
Does it matter now? I thought you wanted to leave him. That's when we started.
She turns away. Smart move. Who could stand looking at him anyway?
I don't know. I'm confused. When he died like that, I felt for him. I keep imagining dying there by the door, alone.
He moves closer, nodding and pretending to care.
I understand. You are a good person. You care about everyone.
Their breathing begins to sink again. Slower, softer. A tentative truce hanging between them. Almost enough to make me cough a furball. Disgusting.
What was that?
Wait, I'll check it out. It was your damn cat again. He broke our magnet from that weekend in Vermont.